Welcome back, everyone. Dr. Chadwick here, part of Your Nutrition Physicians. And today we're talking about how the first steps to fix your digestive problems. So this video is going to be about 10 to 15 minutes. So I would encourage you to stay till the end because everything is interconnected. Let's first talk about the digestive system and how it works, real simply and easily so you can understand it, because you're going to have to make some decisions about what you're doing with your foods and your lifestyle choices to help your body get better with digestive problems. I can get you all the testing and all the knowledge that I have to figure out what's wrong, but you have to implement those things. When you have knowledge, knowledge is power. So understanding how your digestive system is the first steps to improving your digestive system. So we have a few different organs involved in digestion. You can see the stomach, small intestines, pancreas, liver, gallbladder, colon, or large intestine. Those are the 6 major organs of your digestive system. Digestion actually starts when you smell the food or you see the food. Your brain sends signals to your digestive system to start making juices. Your saliva starts to come out a little bit more, and your mouth and your saliva are the first parts of the digestive process because the saliva has enzymes, and those enzymes start the digestive process. Enzymes are kind of like little workers. They're like Pac-Man. If you ever played the game Pac-Man, I'm probably dating myself, but anyway, the Pac-Man game would eat up the little dots on the board, right? Well, in your mouth, you have enzymes which help to start the digestive process. And we have different types of foods. Now, food is great. I love to eat. I love a good variety and good tasty food. We all do. But we have to be able to understand what causes digestive problem, and a lot of times it has to do with different types of foods. So, talking about that, again, the stomach, the main function of the stomach is to digest proteins. Proteins like chicken and fish and eggs, right? Or beans as a vegetarian source. And those proteins have what we call amino acids. So proteins are broken down in your stomach with the help of the hydrochloric acid and something called pepsin. So the hydrochloric acid and pepsin help to break down those proteins into amino acids. Amino acids then travel down your stomach into your intestinal system. They get absorbed into your bloodstream, to go to your liver, and they spread throughout your body. Your liver is your factory that tells your body what to do with foods. And in this case, we're talking about protein digestion. Again, it starts in the stomach. And again, we need to have good hydrochloric acid and good pepsin to be able to start that process. Again, when it's broken down, those proteins are broken down, they go into the body, and the protein is the building blocks of your body. So your protein builds your hair, your skin, your nails, your organs, everything that's solid. Your blood is made up of protein. So if you have a problem in those areas with your hair, your skin, your nails, if they're brittle, your hair is brittle or dry, that's a problem with protein digestion and protein absorption. So we want to be able to work on that. And again, the stomach has this substance called hydrochloric acid, which we abbreviate HCl, right? HCl and something called pepsin. This is what digests protein. Now, many people suffer from, and you may be one of them, that suffer from acid reflux, right? Or GERD, they call it, gastrointestinal reflux disease. Acid reflux, there are millions of products sold every day for helping people with antacids because of what they think is as excess acid. And that may be the case. You may have excess acid causing you to have heartburn, but you may not. You may actually have a deficiency of hydrochloric acid and pepsin. You'll get the same result. You get the same symptoms. In other words, you're going to get acid reflux whether you have deficiency of hydrochloric acid or excess of hydrochloric acid. Now, just be logical for a second. If you have a deficiency of hydrochloric acid and you take an antacid, which reduces the acid even more, is that going to be a good thing? And of course, the answer is no. You don't want to take an antacid when you have low acid. But you still have heartburn. But your heartburn may be from low acid or high acid. But most doctors don't know how to diagnose which is which. In other words, do you truly have excess hydrochloric acid or deficiency? Well, at our office, at Your Nutrition Physicians, we check you. We check and not test your blood and your urine. With these very highly sophisticated state-of-the-art tests, we can tell if you have excess hydrochloric acid or deficiency, and if you need those antacids. Okay, so that's stomach, proteins, and amino acids. Then we have carbohydrates or starches. They basically break down into sugar. So proteins, again, give your body its solid parts. All of the solid parts of your body, like your nails, your hair, your skin, are made up of proteins. The carbs and starches, which break down into sugars, on the other hand, give your body energy. And we like to have energy. And let me say this. Carbohydrates and starches are the preferred source of energy. What does that mean? That your body likes sugars and starches to make energy. Your brain uses about 20% of your sugar for energy. Your heart uses a lot of sugar for energy. Anything that's fast moving and fast using up energy needs a good source of carbs and starches and sugars. But the problem comes in when we have the wrong types of sugars and starches. But we're not talking about that today. We're actually going to be, we talk about more in details about proteins, amino acids, carbs, starches, sugars, and fats in our digestion correction workshop. So make sure you like this video and sign up, and you'll get notifications about our upcoming workshops. But going back to today's program, so carbohydrates, starches, and sugars give us energy. That's one of the biggest issues that people have. One of the biggest complaints people have that come to see me and my wife, we've been doing this for over 30 years and thousands of patients, one of the biggest problems is low energy. It's because their body's not digesting the carbs and starches very well. What happens there? Well, we know that carbs and starches go down into the digestive system as we eat them, for example, a piece of bread or some pasta. And the small intestine has enzymes in the wall, and the pancreas is a big player of the digestion of carbs and starches, okay? So the stomach mainly breaks down proteins, the small intestine and pancreas break down carbs and sugars. So if we're having issues with carbohydrates, so when you eat, let's say, bread or pasta and you feel bloated after that, that means your body's having a hard time digesting these starches and sugars. Why? Mainly because you're eating a lot of processed starches and a lot of refined sugary products. And those sugary products, the pancreas makes enzymes, and the small intestine also has some enzymes in the wall. So when we eat too many carbohydrates, we use up the enzymes in the pancreas, and that's what causes a lot of gas and bloating when you eat those kind of foods, okay? So that's the proteins, stomach, carbs, starches, small intestine, pancreas. The liver and the gallbladder are crucial for digesting fats. So fats break down into fatty acids. Again, proteins break down into amino acids. Carbs and starches break down into sugars. And fats break down what we call fatty acids. Now, there are many people who are afraid of fats. We have been trained culturally and societally and even worldwide that fats make you fat. That is not true. It's the wrong fats that make you fat. And again, when you come to our digestion correction workshop, you're going to learn what fats are good and what fats are bad. Today, I'm just talking about the first steps to fix your digestive problems. So we need to know that fats are handled by our liver and gallbladder. The liver makes a substance called bile. Bile is what the liver makes, and it stores it in the gallbladder. So the gallbladder is a small organ that sits under your liver here in the right side of your abdomen. And that bile gets squirted, if you would, into your small intestines as the food comes down, and it wraps up the fats. So, for example, a piece of chicken. Let's say, for example, you have a chicken breast. Chicken breast is less fatty than, let's say, a thigh. A thigh meat, chicken, has higher fat content. So we use a lot of the liver and gallbladder bile to break the fats down. We also use the liver and gallbladder and the bile to break down the fat-soluble vitamins. So vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K, they need a good functioning liver and gallbladder to break down the fats to help you to absorb your fat-soluble vitamins. So one of the biggest things that happens is if you take a blood test, many people probably anywhere from 85 to 95% of the population is deficient in vitamin D, like David, right? Vitamin D is what we call a fat-soluble vitamin. And one of the main reasons that you're deficient in it is because your liver and your gallbladder are not working correctly to be able to absorb the vitamin D. So that's a big problem, and that's a big way of showing that your body is having issues with your liver and gallbladder. But we also know, too, in our digestive correction workshop, we talk about how to analyze your own stool at home. That's right, your digestive. You can look at your stool in the toilet, and you can see if your body has issues digesting fats and fatty acids. Again, that's the function of the liver and the gallbladder. And also, too, when you do have issues digesting fats and fatty acids, you'll feel not so good when you eat like chips or nuts and seeds, which have a high fat content. You'll feel nauseous from them. You won't like it because those are very, very heavy. Oh, and just going back to the proteins, there's a lot of people who become vegetarian, not because it's an ethical reason. It's because they don't feel good eating animal protein. And it does happen because the proteins found in animal products like chicken, turkey, and fish are generally harder to digest than your more vegetarian types of protein, like legumes and like whole grains and legumes are good sources, and beans are a good source of vegetarian proteins. So that's a little bit about that, a little tidbit about that. So going back to the fats and fatty acids again, these are crucial. So we have the proteins, which build up the solid parts of our body, and the carbs and starches give us energy. The fats help to make your hormones. You may be asking, what is a hormone? A hormone is a messenger your body makes to make you who you are. Hormones help to make women women. Women have female hormones and male have male hormones. Yes, we have a combination of both of them, but as a general statement, men have the male hormone testosterone and women generally have more estrogen and progesterone. So those are hormones, and those are made from the fats you eat. So guess what? If you're listening out there, and especially with women, women have a big fear about fats. They stay away from fat. They go on these very long diets, which typically talk about eat no fats or low-fat diet. But you need certain good fats to be able to help your body make the hormones. And over here, on this side over here, you can see these are some dangerous oils that you may be using in your house to cook with for you and your family that are very toxic to your body. And these disrupt your hormonal system. They affect your male and female hormones in a negative way. So make sure you're not using any of these things. Liquid oils like vegetable oil, soybean oil, canola oil, corn oil, even the vegan spreads, they have a lot of, even if they're organic, whatever, they're not, those oils are very unstable and they go rancid very quickly and they disrupt your body's fats and fatty acids. And guess what? Your brain is one big blob of fat. Another real big symptom that people complain about is having brain fog. Well, brain fog happens when you don't digest your fatty acids. You're eating all these wrong fats, and these wrong fats are not letting your body utilize the good fatty acids. And again, we're going to get into more details about fats and fatty acids in our digestion correction workshop. Okay, the last part of the body that is involved in the digestive system is what we call your colon or your large intestine, and that's at the end. And the colon is not just for your waste. You do make a lot of vitamins in your colon, and you also absorb more water through your colon wall. Yes, you do have your excrement, your stools do come out through your colon, and that's an important organ of that, but it also makes vitamins, and there's a lot of different types of bacteria in your colon and your small intestine. So we don't want to use a lot of these artificial sweeteners or a lot of these refined or overly processed foods, fast foods, because they damage the delicate bacteria in your colon. It can lead to problems. So in summation, when we talk about the digestive system and the first steps to fix your digestive problems, when we understand how these systems work, then we can start to see some of the symptoms that happen when these systems are out of balance. For example, I mentioned in the beginning, you can have acid reflux or heartburn. That again has to do with the stomach not working right and not being able, either not having enough hydrochloric acid or not enough pepsin. And that's a big problem for a lot of people that suffer from acid reflux. when you have gas and bloating in your intestines mainly, and small intestines and pancreas and liver, they handle, again, the sugars and starches. And there are a lot of good bacteria in your small intestine as well as your large intestine. So we don't want to have too much sugar and carbs. We want to have a good amount, but not too much, because that affects these organs. And you can get things like SIBO. SIBO is small intestine bacterial overgrowth, SIBO. And SIBO is very common today. It happens when bacteria grows because the sugar, too much sugar, depletes your immune system, and it causes these bacteria to grow more in your intestinal system. And if you've ever suffered from H. pylori, H. pylori is a bacteria found in your stomach, and H. pylori grows in your stomach. Now, normally, when you have enough hydrochloric acid and pepsin in your stomach, which you're supposed to have, that kills the H. pylori. But if we don't have enough, guess what? H. pylori grows. And when people take too many antacids, H. pylori grows because of the reduction in the hydrochloric acid, which not only digests your protein, but it also helps to kill that H. pylori. So those are some issues there. Now, a lot of times, too, we have inflammation of your digestive system, right? We call it gastritis. It just means inflammation of the gastrointestinal tract, which is your stomach, your intestines, and the large intestine and small intestine get inflamed or enlarged. And sometimes it's in the stomach. We call it gastritis. If it happens in your small intestine, we can call it different types of things, and such as small intestine bacterial overgrowth is a sign of inflammation in your small intestine. Your large intestine. In your large intestine is there's things like diverticulitis or diverticulosis. All those are just fancy terms. That just means there's inflammation in your colon. But you can get more serious problems in your colon, like colitis, Crohn's disease, right? Celiac disease. These are all diseases of the digestive system that happen when the body is out of balance. So I hope that answers a lot of your questions about the first steps to fix your digestive problems. So again, stay tuned to more in our digestion correction workshops. You can, again, follow us on YouTube, look us up on Facebook, and we always do different types of presentations like this. So we want to see you guys at our presentations, and come back and follow us and learn some more about your health and how to correct some problems. God bless you guys. Dr. Chadwick here. See you next time.